I have so much to say. I don't even know where to begin. So, in all this, losing my brother, going on 3 weeks ago tomorrow, um, there's been a lot of learning. So much learning, more learning than I've ever had. And a lot of darkness. So, some of the biggest lessons I've learned. First off, I wanted to understand, addiction. And my first thought was, well, there's been so many times in my life I could have easily died, drunk driving, overdosing, whatever, back in my past, and I wouldn't blame myself. Even suicidal times, I wouldn't blame myself. So, Eckhart Tolle says, and I love it, that essentially everybody is doing the best they can given the level of awareness that they have. And I can honestly say I can look back on my life and agree. I always did do the best I could given what I had. So that means, that's kind of a life hack. If you can think that way, that's a big deal. There's no guilt. You're not going to be mad at people because you can see it. And it's pretty easy to see. If somebody hurts you and you actually connect with your heart and you look deep down, you're like, okay, you know what? I see why, and I see that they felt probably like justified, even though it may not be the right choice or whatever. Okay, so we got that. And right now, what I'm doing is sharing my excitement. It excites me to share things with you. And I'll be damned if I go through all of this stuff and I don't put it to use to help others, because that's what makes me feel good. So I guess that's what's getting me through. And also I just have this undying quest for knowledge. Okay, so, oh my gosh, there's just so many things. So, as I found myself grieving, I noticed I'm changing my neural pathways into either over catastrophizing memories or putting them on a pedestal. A lot like a breakup. When we break up with someone and it takes a while for things to come to a neutral observer point. And every time we remember something, we change that memory a little bit. So I'm like, well, I want to preserve those memories. What do? I don't want to make them more into something that they are, and then into something they aren't, because they're really beautiful. So what I realized kind of with that is just, I want to just look at his, my memories with him as kind of if he didn't die. Why would I give it meaning? So if Bashar says, and I totally agree with this, life is fundamentally meaningless, it only means the meaning that we give it at any given moment. I like the analogy of, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it fall or did it make a sound, right? It kind of reminds me of that. So if things in my reality are going to have the meaning that I give it, why wouldn't I take advantage of that? And so, yeah, I can also choose to be sad or not. What meaning do I want to give his death? Do I want to be like, this is hard? Of course I do feel those things, and I have. Or do I want to make it into something beautiful? So what I've noticed and realized that grief is powerlessness over death. It is something that we can't fundamentally change, right? Somebody dies, you feel powerless. What's opposite of that? Feeling powerful. What is the most powerful thing you can do? Create. That is what God does. Therefore becoming one with God, if you are doing that. So if I give everything its meaning, I feel the need to be sad, or because I feel like I should, or I feel like I have to, etc. When I can take my power back in that and then actually finish that loop as well, instead of just I am sad, it not only takes my power back, it grounds the circuitry in my brain into power, if that makes sense. And that's how I don't end up with these neural pathways that go to dark places, or places I don't want to do. I don't want to look at my brother's things that he gave me and be sad every time I see them. And I found myself, especially in the first week, just looking around, and just everything kind of reminded me of it, and it made me really sad. But it was beautiful and necessary. Actually, one of the best things I did for myself, looking back, was be alone during the first couple weeks, like here and there when I could, get somebody to watch my son. I would have friends maybe over for a couple hours, but then I would kind of want to be alone, and I think there's some type of beauty. Obviously, it led to more connection in the end, yes. But I had to find myself in a lot of ways in the darkness. And I had to go there. Well, oh, this is funny. What it really started with is on New Year's Eve, I did this quantum jump like hardcore. I have a lot of practice in this, and I can really change realities and shift into things I want. And I harnessed the energies of the collective on New Year's Eve to bring me into a reality where I can help people the most ways possible for the good of all humanity. And I just wanted to bring consciousness and love and awareness and expansion as much as possible. And it felt good. But then my brother died on the 2nd of January. So I was like, oh shit. Whoops. I guess I'm going to be able to help people with grief now. I have tried quantum jumping out of his death. It is possible. Even according to like modern physics, we know there are like parallel multiple realities, and like, anyways. But when I've tried to do that, there's something that my higher self says that it's like, no, this was meant. This is your path. This is a path you chose, and this is an integral part that is necessary, unfortunately, because it hurts. Also, one thing, real big thing I realized, as I've been just studying the hell out of grief now, grief is also just a reflection of our core wound of being separate from God here in our earthly human experience. For example, I believe that's why like breakups hurt so much. You became one with someone, especially say you're romantic, you are creating a life, or that's as one as you can get with another person. So you break up, you lose that other person, but also there's this hidden layer that actually I think it's just huge. It's bringing out that feeling of alone, and really what it is this the separation of God. Like the whole reason why we came here, so that we could, well, find God in ourselves, which is incredibly beautiful. And to loop that around, being alone with myself in all that pain was being with myself. It was becoming one with God, holding myself. And now, when I'm around people, I have no like filter or whatever. I'm very raw. I'm able to connect with people on a level I never had experienced. I've never lost anybody close to me in my life, luckily, until now. And it's pretty incredible. I didn't see this level of humanity. I mean, I know loss is painful and stuff, but like, I'm certainly able to connect to others in that way. So let's see, what else do I got? There's just so much. Hmm. I really like that part of people doing the best they can given their current level of awareness. I mean, that's literally a life hack for everything. I mean, it makes me feel better about my brother's death. It makes me feel better about if people are mean to me. And this is something I can truly say I fundamentally believe, because I believe that about myself. When I really am in my heart and centered, I see that. Also, let's see what else. If I want to get through this the best way I can to help the most people, I think what the best route is really striving for a sense of neutrality in my view of all things. Because once you are in a state of neutrality, it means acceptance of all things. When you look at everything in the world from the lens of not good, not bad, just neutral observer, but with a full heart of love, as like the creator would, you can get into a place of obviously acceptance of all things good and bad. And therefore, you can integrate into that oneness that we all strive for. That's what addiction is. Actually, a real good quote. Ram Dass said something along the lines of, the addiction can take you to heaven, but you're only going to be able to be there for a few minutes because you didn't get there the right way. So addiction is actually just us seeking that oneness I'm talking about right now. Anyways, so if we accept all things as they are, view them as perfect, it just loops around into that. Then you are God, you are one with God, because you are one with all things. And it even makes things a lot easier to choose the highest meaning that you give to everything. Does that make sense? So once you come to that place, then you realize, okay, life is fundamentally meaningless other than the meaning I give it. From this place is born the most conscious expansion you can create in your life, in this reality and in incarnation. It's just incredibly beautiful. I can't believe the level of humanity and how it's changed a lot of things for me. The meditative journey was really difficult. I will say that. I'm very excited to be able to help people on their meditative journey, especially in dark times like this. So for me, I've been meditating for roughly an hour a day for going on maybe 2.5, 3 years now. And it's my everything. It's what grounds me. It's what saves me. It's what heals me. It's what brings me the most joy. And then I found out my brother died, and I couldn't meditate because every time I would try to almost get in that place of peace, and I was obviously still in shock, honestly, for the first week. I probably still am in shock. It still doesn't quite feel real. But what I found in my meditative journey regarding this grief was I had to change things up a lot. What usually works didn't work. I kept trying, though. It's a habit now at this point. So, I mean, it wasn't hard to keep trying. And it got better. It did. It's still hard. Especially at first, I would, get into a place of stillness and then realize my brother died. And then my heart, I would feel like I got gut punched and then my heart would start racing. And it still happens. It's less and less. And I knew the only way to kind of get out of the darkness and pain of this separation from my brother, powerlessness with that, which is actually just like I said, separation from God. It's an amplification. Grief is an amplification of our separateness from God right now in this reality. Since we have the veil of forgetfulness, we don't come here knowing everything that we agreed to and all those things. So anyways, I was able to quantum jump into, it's kind of easiest if you just change your reality a little bit at a time. Because we have to believe it first, right, for it to change. And it was nice. I would say about 4 or 5 days ago, I did a quantum jumping meditation wherein I, got my mind still, and then I felt into the feeling of more peace, more love, more acceptance. And I really, what I wanted was my relationship with my brother to be more of his connecting to his soul, not the negatively perceived effects of his death, or finding blame or anything like that. And actually, that was also another way to take my power back. And it convinced me enough to feel like I am still grieving, but I am a little bit higher up vibrationally, which I really just want to do so I can share things with you. It's been pretty crazy. So this brings us to today. Day I would be 21 of what the how did this end up being my reality? So today I went to his house and helped my mom clean it up. There were some dark energies there. Darkness. So I saged his house, and it did clear out the energies. It cleared out a lot of the energies of just my brother even during it. But I think that's okay. So I realized this whole time I haven't been able to connect with him quite that well because, well, vibrationally I'm in a place of like usually despair, and he's not there. So if I really want to be close to him, I gotta come to peace where he is. So anyways, so I went to his grave to connect to him, and I used my Ouija board, something that I've used many times. I have never had any bad experiences. I'm not gonna justify that. Hey, my brother died. I'm gonna do whatever I can to connect to him, okay? Anyways, it was really incredible. I finally got my peace. And it was, he said so many things. I have it on my phone, but I'm recording on my phone right now. But he said that I am happy and free. I am still here. I'm always with you. Let me go. I am at peace. And I asked if there's anything I can do to help him, and he said no. And it just felt really good to just to finally connect with him at this level. Of course I dip in and out, and there's moments where I'm really sad and I weep for my family, for his son. But if I get to choose what meaning I give to my life in every single way, especially something like this, I'm going to use it to bring the most light and love to the world and comfort, hopefully, to others. Like I said, there's been a lot of realizations in this, and really, in the end, what has happened, this is kind of a crazy thing. I said this yesterday, I'm like, I lost one person, but I gained so many more. I gained an ability to connect with others in a way that I have never experienced, and I never want to lose. I never want to lose this ability to connect to others this way. I always want to be raw. And it's a really beautiful blessing. And I knew this day one he died. I feel things. I know things. We all know things. And I said, oh, okay. I see. This is going to lead me to that path. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it leads. I really am. And especially now that I'm not really worried about his soul, and I just feel good about it. I think it did take some time. You know, it was probably kind of shocking. He wasn't planning on dying. And I'm just really excited to have learned these things so that those memories I have of him and the meaning I give to his life can be created into something incredibly beautiful. And that will live on through me and through my son. And I guess lastly, what I would want to say to other people about this is try being alone and just do whatever you can to like love yourself and be with yourself, be present with yourself. One thing I did is I really slowed things down. Oh my gosh. It was so nice. Because I have like all these things I need to do. I have a kid, I got a home, I got business. I'm usually in a state of, I got so many things to do, no time to do it in. Then this happened, and I'm like, nope. All that matters is me in each moment and how I'm doing. And which actually increases my ability to get into the flow state as well. Because I don't feel a sense of urgency. I want my relationship with time to be fun. I don't want to always feel like I'm running late or such. So that is something I want to take with me. The slowness. A gal last night told me something. She's like, there's some difference between selfishness and self-centeredness. And self-centeredness means to be in your center. One, neutral. And from there, the stories you tell of your life, the meaning you give to all things, and the love you can give because it's in here, one with you, one with God. You can be one with everybody else. And that is what is most important, is self-centeredness. I thought that was just so incredibly beautiful. Yeah, I've worked my ass off the past couple weeks trying to figure out grief, researching it, and there's like not much. I talked to my doctor. I'm like, I see these neural pathways go in these directions, and I don't want to have these associations. And she's like, just feel it, just be hurt. Oh my gosh, so many people have said, feel the pain. What? I don't know. I think that's weird to say to somebody. Like, if I'm already in pain, like, do I look like I'm not in pain? It drove me nuts a little bit. But you know, everybody is trying to help. I guess last but not least, one thing to help somebody that's grieving, saying, let me know if there's anything I can do to help you, is a beautiful sentiment. But the way it kind of got interpreted for me is like, oh, that person, now it's on me to reach out. Like, thanks, but well, it's a little embarrassing to reach out sometimes. Sometimes it's, and they're like, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't know what I need right now even, right? Especially at first. So anyways, it's just something to ponder. I suppose perhaps if I was talking to somebody in my shoes, I would say more like, here is what I can offer. Ooh, I like that. And I'll be available for these things at these times, or something like that. Like, instead of, how can I help you? Or let me know if you need anything. Say, hey, I would like to come to your house. I can help you clean. Or this or that. Just another idea. Yeah, grief is hard. Oh, actually, best thing you can do for somebody in grief. Hello. Imagining them in joy. That is the best thing you could possibly do. Our thoughts are so powerful. And when we, like, say somebody's over there and they're just building it up in their heads and feeling so sorry for me, poor Lindsay, oh, she must be in so much pain. You're sending the energies of that pain. I don't want that. I want thoughts of others, and that's what I would want to give to others too. Although I think our minds kind of go there, and it's a way to connect, perhaps at first. It's beautiful actually that we do that. And anyways, yeah, I would just like people to think of me happy and succeeding and sleeping well. Anyways, thank you guys for listening, and I love you so much, and I can't wait to share more things. So much has been coming in. Epiphanies just nonstop. I am so freaking stoked. It's not even funny. Like I said, it made me like come into the present moment, which I'm still not that good at. But life is a beautiful fucking journey. It's incredible. It's ridiculous. In my darkest of times, the most is when I've seen the most synchronicities, which is very odd, but cool. And it's just unlocking new levels of humanity and consciousness and expansion and awareness. And I am freaking stoked, because that is like all I care about. And then helping others feel that, if possible. Sending to whoever is listening to this so much love and gratitude. Well, that's all I have to say tonight. Can't wait to bring more. Bye. We got this together, and we are one. I never stop trying. But actually, you know what? Oh my gosh, this is the biggest realization. Ugh, I can't believe I forgot to share this. So if we are doing the best we can given the current level of awareness, and we can see that in the past of ourselves. We see it in others. We're going to be looking back at ourselves right now in this very moment, thinking the exact same thing. I will be looking back at myself and saying, I was doing the best I could. Now, how is that to get you in the flow state? Gets rid of all guilt, all pressure, all shame, all confusion of if you're doing the right thing or not. Just give in and let go. I love this so much, because that's how God would see us. When you connect to God, that's what it feels like. That you are loved unconditionally at this very moment and the next and the next. Okay. I hope that helps.